Hi, it's Karen W. from Kitchener Public Library, and we're here with week 3 of the Rube Goldberg Challenge. So hopefully the first 2 you've got to work and maybe even work together. So I'm going to continue my journey trying to make a machine that will ring a bell ultimately. So I'm just going to quickly go over the supplies and then we're going to get to the plan. So I, on my own, have collected, they're not included, but I think they're really handy and really fun to use, are tubes. So you can use any materials you find around the house. You can use boxes, you can make your own tubes out of paper, whatever you want to do. You've got extra cardstock, so feel free to make your own tubes if you want to do that. You've got a cup. You've got these great popsicle sticks with these little indentations that actually let you build them together. So you can use these in any way you want. I want some creativity, go crazy, create your own designs, use materials, use your couch, use your boxes. It's whatever you can get it to work and that has lots of fun, and it's whatever works for you and your vision of what you want. But these, you have 10 of these and they do work together. I thought for hanging my bell, or making a flag, or putting this over my track, who knows, a string, a little tiny bell. You've got 7 of these. We're gonna use these for a maze. Now you've got some construction paper, some cardstock actually, that you can fold and make like a small ruler shaped item, or you can use a ruler. So I'm gonna try both and see what works. I'm not sure yet. Scissors, have some tape, have your original. You'll need, of course, your catapult and your marble to test this out. Let's see, some fun little sticky things and stands. You can do whatever you want, make flags, do creative things with these things. I have my masking tape and some extra blocks in case I want to use them. There's a tin plate and my cup that I'm going to cut out to help direct things, and I'm going to use this to direct it. So let's get to the plan. So this is week 3, so I'm building a separate component, and not like our first. I've had to adjust things as I'm working out how to do this, and I hope you're feeling free to do that. So I've got my marble going through the paper roller coaster. So what are we doing next? I'm gonna use my cup. I'm gonna have the marble come through my cup. I'll probably cut a hole in it. I'm going to use tin foil because I can shape this. Then I am dying to use this giant tube. So I think that'll be really fun for the marble to run down. I'm going to make a marble run. I'm going to use either cardstock or a ruler and our paper clips, and we'll get to that in a minute. And then ultimately I'm gonna build something because I want it to ring a bell. So if I can get these components to work, now I wanna add them to week 1 and week 2. So remember from week 1, we have the catapult. It's shooting the plasticine. It's going down the ramp. The marble is balanced there. It's going through the cone. Then it has to go around, loop around my paper run through a tube. Then hopefully it's going to go through a cup, my tin foil, down another tube, into a different kind of marble run, and ring a bell. So this is the plan. Cross my fingers, hope it works, and have lots of fun, and just try it and see what happens. So I have successfully got my paper marble run to work, as you saw from the last video, and now I want to continue from this curve. So I did find I'm gonna probably have this up on boxes, and this is gonna drop down, so I need some way for this marble not to go spinning off. So I think I'm gonna try my plan and use my cup. I've got scissors, and I'm just gonna cut out some of the bottom. And depending how you put your cup, whether you angle it or drop it or put a big hole or a little hole, this will help you control where it's going to be going. So I'm just going to, so I've just used this cup, and I've already got a piece of tape, and now I'm going to attach it, I think. I'm probably gonna tape it here. So we've got our first part of stage 3 of the Rube Goldberg working. I want it to go through the cup. I want it to come through a tin foil. And I'm using tin foil because I can bend this, fold it, I can adjust these, so you can use this in any way you want. You can have this at the bottom that something drops into it, whatever you like to do. This is kind of just my vision, because I can tape this onto the box and onto the cup, and then I want this to run into here, so I'll have to tape that and play around with this angle. And once I can get that working, then I want my last stage is my marble run, and I'm gonna build a bell, like, and hopefully ring it. And then I'm gonna take this part, which because I'm at Central Library and I'm in a shared space, I have to keep taking mine apart. So part of my box is the first part with the catapult is set up across the room. I'm lucky I've got boxes to work with. Use pillows, use books, use whatever. If you're doing this at home, you can leave it. I'll give you the instructions on how to build your little, this is a really fun one. You can use cardstock or a ruler, whichever you want to use. And then I'm gonna build a bell. And then I'm gonna move the whole thing over there and hopefully, fingers crossed, get everything to work. Building a marble run with our clothes pegs and either cardstock or a ruler. So I'm going to test out both because this has to be able to work. So I'm not sure which is going to work better. So you've got a piece of cardstock. I've given you two different colors. You can use this for any other shape if you want to make this into tubes or whatever you'd like to do. So what I was going to do is fold this into 3 equal parts. So let me make sure you can see this. Here we go. I'm going to move those. And so you can measure this. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to take it 1 and fold it fairly crisply. And 2, because what you're looking for is weight and strength so that you can clip. And then I'm just going to tape mine. So mine looks kind of like that. I'm going to tape this, but you are welcome to glue it, whatever you like. So I've got tape. I'm just gonna tape it, and that might actually give it a bit of strength. So let's see if we can get this all working. All right. So it's like this. It is a little bit bendy, but it's not bad, and the tape certainly helps. So this is a really fun, simple, I love this marble run. You could build several of these if you want to add your own. You've got 7 of these. You can use, I might keep one actually for my marble run. I might try different things. So the marble's going to come down, and these paper clips will channel it. So they're really easy to adjust and move. So you're hoping it will continue going like this. You're going to do a test once you get this working. And then I need to work it into this so that it comes through, and I can direct it to go, and I'll make my bell and hopefully be able to do it. So you're just gonna have to play around with how far apart these are, but I love these because I think it's really easy. The marble needs to be able to go through this channel, okay? So let me just keep going, and we're just gonna test as usual. And I might add one more of these. Now I'm finding this bendy, so I'm not sure about this. You might have to use support if you want to use the cardstock. The advantage of using a ruler is it's already hard, so it might be easier. I might switch it out, but let's see. We'll give this a little bit of support because you need the angle, and I'm worried this will just take a lot of adjusting, but let's give it a try. So I'm not adding it yet. I'm just seeing if it works. So if this was coming down here, it works kind of like that to control it. So the advantage of this is it's easy to move things around, and you can control exactly where the marble's going to leave. So let's see if we can get this to work now. So So I was struggling a little bit with the cardstock, the angles, so I decided to try the ruler, and the first attempt, it worked. Okay, in our Rube Goldberg journey, I have finally got this almost all working, and so this is pretty much parts of 2 and 3, and then I'm gonna add it to 1. So it goes through my cup, down my tinfoil, along my tube. I double folded the 2 pieces of smaller cardstock and glued them or just clipped them together. And this does now work, so it's just playing around with things. So if you don't have a ruler, you don't even need to use it. I was just using this because it's a bit longer, and I find with the cardstock, you have to sort of adjust it, so I've got a close peg under tape to make it more stable. It's all fun to kind of figure this out. So now my last step is I'm trying to ring this tiny little bell. It is not winter holidays, so I'm sorry the bells are a little bit small, but that'll be part of the exciting challenge of this. And you don't have to have this. You could have this come over and knock something over if you want. You could put up a popsicle stick or a cube, see if you can get it. If you had a sharper angle and it was moving faster, you could just have it knock over something. Whatever you want, or drop off this into a cup. You could align, let's try this. Now that I'm thinking of it, let's put some of these down. You could have these come to channel it, or you could build a little wall with this. And then once it's coming through everything, you could have this drop down and knock something over or land in something. So let's give this a little test. There we go. So all kinds of different opportunities. You don't even have to use your bell. It's a bit more of a challenge. So whatever you want to do, I'm going to put, I think, my cord through here, and I'm going to try a couple things. I might even just clip it hanging off of, because I can control that maybe. Maybe I'll just have it sitting like this and hanging over my track, because that might be really easy too. So whatever's working, this is kind of one solution. I'll show you my final, if I can get the bell to ring, and then I'm going to move the whole thing over, and I'm going to attempt to start the entire process. I decided to use the bell with a bit of tape, the cord, and a clothes peg so I can move it around and angle it the right way. Works. Oh, just missed it. So you'll just have to play with this. Adjust these and adjust where, this is the advantage of this design, is I can put it practically. So I decided to just try it with the ruler because it's more stable, and here is my attempt with the ruler. Oh my goodness, so that took me 20 or 30 times trying this, so don't give up. This will work. You don't have to make it as complicated again. I think these are really fun to build. Every time you move one thing on a Rube Goldberg, everything needs adjustment, so you have to have a bit of patience, but this is really good to learn about your math and your sciences, your angles, forces. It's amazing, it's so much fun. You just have to have some patience. So my last try, finally, it hit my little bell, and I could have it stop here. I could build a little wall. So now, I won't show you doing this because it's gonna take me a while. I'm gonna take all of this. This is working, but I know kind of the heights of boxes. I'm gonna mark them, and I'm gonna move it all over there. So hopefully you don't have to do this. So you can just build like stage 3 by itself. You can do 2 by itself, 1 by itself. And if you're adventurous and you have lots of patience, try putting the whole thing together, which makes one of these crazy, but super fun Rube Goldberg designs. So now I'm just gonna try and set it up over there. And once I've got it sort of set up, I'm gonna see if I can use the catapult to go down the ramp, through the cone, down another tube, into our paper roller coaster, through the cup, through the tinfoil, through the tube, through the marble run, and ring a bell. So I'll join you in a minute once I've got it all set up and I begin trying. So you're not seeing all the attempts I made, so don't be impatient if yours doesn't work. It takes a lot of tries. I have tried this many, many times, so some of that I cut just because the video would be too long. So join me over there in 1 minute. I've moved everything over to the wall and attached it all together, so I'm going to see if I can make this work. So I hope you had as much fun as I did. I finally got mine to work. I have included some bloopers at the end of this part, just so you can see how many hundreds of times I tried this. I've done this over many days, and I had lots of successes and lots of things that didn't work. But I think it's a great science, math, crazy, fun, silly, amazing challenge. So I hope you were able to get through some of it or all of it, or you at least learned some things and had all kinds of discoveries of what works and what doesn't, how to use machines to do crazy things. That's Rube Goldberg. If you do get anything to work or not work and you want to share with me, it's karen.wiley@kpl.org. Please send me a video. I would love to see them. And as you can see from my original, this changed. It didn't always work. You've got to play and be creative and inventive. And I hope you really enjoyed the discovery. So it's Karen W. from Kitchener Public Library, and thanks for joining me.